So for those of you who have been wondering where I've been for the past month or so, I believe the title of the video says everything that you need to know, and yes, I am officially a high school graduate. Yeah. I don't really have much rhyme or reason on this video. It's going to be kind of a ramble for me, but this is just sort of a personal talk, I guess, about just high school in general and the experiences that one has. I've been going to my high school for about 7 years or so, and in that time, I never would have expected such a massive shift from one way to the other. I started going to this school in 2009, and I stuck with it all the way up to now, and it has been just one of the craziest experiences I've ever had. I made countless friends, gone on multiple different journeys, and just had so many crazy experiences that it would be impossible to cover them all in one single video, or multiple videos for that matter. It's just, high school means something different for everyone, but for me, a lot of it was about growth. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have a lot of problems with high school, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of courses that don't really make sense in the grand scheme of things. There are a lot of them, make sense to have. There have been a lot of problems with just school in general. I think everybody has at least one really big problem at whatever school they go to. And this school year was insane. I literally had to fight for my diploma, and it was just such a massive struggle to get to where I needed to be, to where I could say, I made it. But through a lot of effort, through a lot of help from the staff and faculty, my parents, my friends, by the grace of God, I made it. And it is such an accomplishment, but the crazy thing is that it still hasn't really registered for me that I have made it. Because this whole high school experience up to now is really all I've known. All I've known my entire life is get up, go to school, do your best, go home, sleep, repeat the cycle. And now that's kind of over, I guess, and I have to find my place in this crazy world of ours. And I mean, to make things easier on me, I have gotten a job, and that's been working me like crazy, so I guess my schedule hasn't changed that much. But in the grand scheme of things, I've realized how far I've come. But at the same time, it made me realize how far I want to go. And that includes this YouTube channel. And because I'm much more mature than I was 4 years ago, it's time that I start taking things a lot more seriously. I start really putting my mind to tasks and making the best out of every opportunity I get. And if anybody out there is currently in school right now and you want just some general advice, I have, I guess, a few random things off the top of my head, but I wasn't the best student, I'm not the best person, so really don't take everything I say to heart. But if this helps you in any way, then wonderful. If not, then just blow me off, because I'm just a deadbeat dude who just happens to have a diploma. I guess number one would be always be yourself, because you were made to be you because you do it best, and nobody else can do you except for you. Everybody in high school, they try to change who they are because they want to be someone that's loved, they want to be respected, they want to be cool. And a lot of times people hide from who they actually are because they're afraid of being rejected, and that's not the way it should be. You're amazing just the way you are. We all have flaws, but we can all improve upon them, and we all just need to work to be the best that we can be, because that's what it is to be a human, is you are made to be something. You have to learn to love yourself, and you have to learn to just give it your all to become the best you can be. Accept your flaws, but don't ignore them. Everybody has their limits, but it's what you do with those limitations and how you work around them that a lot of times can get you some really great opportunities. That's just my philosophy anyway. Number two would be no amount of work is considered pointless. You can work all night on an assignment. This has happened to me multiple times. You'll work all night on an assignment, and the next day the teacher will say, oh, that, we won't take that up for a grade. And that's really aggravating, but you'll always get something out of it. The teachers, 9 times out of 10, if they give you an assignment, just do it. And just try to find some way to get it done. And, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I looked online for my answers. Sometimes I just asked a classmate. But I always tried to make sure that I understood the concept at the same time, If you have a really busy schedule, always try to squeeze in some time to do well in your academics, because as it is sometimes possible to be able to cram the last minute, but really you don't get anything out of it, and it really is more of a waste of time than anything, and it's just a stress that gets put on you, and you really don't need it. My advice is just do your best. Don't put anything off to the last minute. Don't be a procrastinator. Don't be lazy. I'm very lazy, and I'm trying to change that about myself, because that's not the way you need to be. You need to just try and... A way to get over procrastination is to just... If there's something that you can do in less than 2 minutes, do it right there. And hopefully over time that will kind of limit your procrastination, or get rid of it entirely, because you'll be more attuned and adjusted to doing things when they need to be done. And that's a good habit to have, because sometimes being prepared is the best way to go. Number 3, don't worry. Stop worrying. Everybody has this mentality of being negative and freaking out. I have met so many people who have told me that they just are so stressed because they don't have a plan for college yet. Their senior year, they're just freaking out. And I'm going to tell you this straight up. You don't need a plan for college straight out of high school. It's okay to have one. It really is. But you don't need it. Like, over 60% of people change their majors in college first year. And that's well over half of college students. And the people who are telling you you need a plan, more often than not, they probably changed their plan their first year of college. In fact, sometimes you don't even need to go to college. I'm not saying don't go, but, a good degree doesn't guarantee success nowadays. It's always good to have a trade. There's always opportunities. But you should always follow your dream. Do what you want to do. You're given one life, and you need to make the most of it. I know I just did the YOLO thing, but whatever, We are all put on this earth for a specific purpose. Whatever that purpose is, sometimes we have to find it. We always won't know immediately what it is. But don't waste your life waiting for the opportunity, and don't spend your life freaking out because you haven't got an opportunity yet. Sometimes you just need to make your own. Sometimes you just have to go out to the real world, face things head on, and you just got to be the best that you can be. Stop treating high school like it's going to last forever, because it isn't. I guarantee you a lot of the stuff that's happening to you right now, you're not going to remember in about 30 years. You're not. It's just the fact. You might not even remember it in 5 years. I don't remember anything that happened in my 8th grade year. I just don't. I barely even remember going to 8th grade. So that will really just show you that sometimes these things just don't matter. So don't worry about your past, because that's behind you. And don't freak out about the future, because that hasn't happened yet. Worry about what you've got right in front of you. Okay? Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, today's the gift. That's why they call it the present, the Kung Fu Panda quote. But I've always kind of gone into the philosophy of, you can't freak out about the future, and you can't deny the future, but you can always prepare for it by making the most of what you've got right now. So, that's kind of my advice, I guess. It doesn't mean a lot. It's not the best advice, but make the best of yourself. No matter what your circumstances are, no matter what you've been through, no matter all that stuff, no matter how hard it gets, you can always bounce back, and you can always strive to be better than you were yesterday. So, yeah. Oh, and take the ACT a lot. It's a lot better than they make it out to be. I'm going to miss my high school years. I'm going to miss a lot of my friends, and I'm going to miss my teachers. But we all grow, and time's going to keep moving forward. The world's going to keep on spinning. And if you remember that and just make the most of what time we do have, you're going to have a happy life. Well, that's it for me. And I will see all of you lovely people in whatever video I decide to make next.